Episode 269. Trample the Void. This is the guild under the Glory Alliance's Void Club. Their guild name is quite unique. Their own team is called Void, yet their guild is named Trample the Void. It sounds completely like an enemy, but in reality, this name was indeed the Void Club's own idea. It's said the name was meant to signify self-transcendence. However, this explanation never really caught on with the public. The Void remained a running joke for many, yet the entire Void Club, from top to bottom, seemed utterly unfazed by it. Their guild still used this name that was treated as a joke, and for years, their team had steadfastly maintained their unique tactical style, the Ghostblade formation. Many club teams have a player and character like this, but only the Void team builds its entire tactical core around the Phantom Ghost. Lee Swan, captain of the Void team, was considered the #1 Ghostblade master in the Alliance. His character, Crying Devil, was hailed as the premier Phantom Ghost. Qiao Yifan had been studying this player intently for some time. The Void team, with their unique composition and play style. For several years now, they've been a formidable force in the league. This season, they've made the playoffs 7 times and currently sit in 5th place. Their prospects look bright. As for the 100 Blossoms Valley, that's the 100 Blossoms Guild, affiliated with the 100 Blossoms Club. The 100 Blossoms team is another long-standing powerhouse in the league. However, this season is a transitional one. At the end of last season, 100 Blossoms team's captain, Zhang Jiele, suddenly announced his retirement. This abrupt decision threw the 100 Blossoms Club's original plans into disarray, leaving them scrambling. Zhang Jiele was also a top-tier player. His character, the Spitfire Dazzling 100 Blossoms, was known for a dazzling and spectacular playstyle. In his 6-year career, he made the playoffs 6 times and reached the finals 3 times, yet never managed to claim a single championship. Zhang Jiele. The name sounds cheerful, but the man himself is arguably the most tragic figure in the 7-year history of the Glory Alliance. Last season, 100 Blossoms team was stopped in the semifinals. Heartbroken and disillusioned, Zhang Jiele made the sudden decision to retire. His resolve was absolute. The 100 Blossoms Club's attempts to persuade him proved futile, and they had no choice but to respect the player's decision. Thus, during the summer off-season, the 100 Blossoms Club was forced to make a move. In the end, they still couldn't dig up a suitable pilot for Dazzling 100 Blossoms. This season, the 100 Blossoms team's strongest account, Dazzling 100 Blossoms, ended up in the hands of a rookie. While this rookie's performance was solid, he was still far from being the core a team like 100 Blossoms needed. This left the 100 Blossoms Club feeling utterly helpless. However, to their delight, the team's 2nd-year player, Tang Hao, rose to prominence this season with a stellar performance. It was practically God tier. What held his results back was his rather unremarkable brawler account and the chaotic playstyle of the 100 Blossoms team. It's no coincidence that both the 100 Blossoms team and their Spitfire character, Dazzling 100 Blossoms, share the same name. Dazzling 100 Blossoms is also an extremely veteran god level account, the very foundation upon which Team 100 Blossoms was built. The Spitfire has always been their core class, and Dazzling 100 Blossoms had always been their core character. They had never changed this tactic for years. This season, with Zhang Jiele's retirement and Tang Hao's rise, the core shifted. But adapting to such a shift isn't something a team can do overnight. Affected by this transition, 100 Blossoms team currently sits in 10th place on the standings. That's a precarious position for them. They might miss the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. But Tang Hao's rise has given them hope. Now, with tactical adjustments, the team's performance is becoming more stable and impressive by the day. A late-season push back into the top 8 was still a possibility. Even if they ultimately fell short, 100 Blossoms team was already prepared to make comprehensive adjustments this summer. Their top priority was to acquire Tang Sanda, the league's premier brawler character from Wind Hao team, to help Tang Hao become a true top-tier star. Secondly, the choice of operator for Dazzling 100 Blossoms also required careful consideration. In short, while the 100 Blossoms team's performance this season has been poor, they have no intention of fading away. They've already laid the groundwork for a comeback. That's why their in-game guild, 100 Blossoms Valley, remains as formidable as ever. No. The elite dungeon teams from 100 Blossoms and Void Breaker ran into Yeshu's 5-man squad right at this intersection. They weren't ambushed outright like Samsara had been, but it was still a major surprise. While they were still stunned by the sudden encounter, Yeshu's team had already charged. After Steamed Bun Invasion's sand toss, he plunged into the 100 Blossoms formation with reckless bravado, only to get caught immediately. Within the 100 Blossoms formation, one player tilted their view up to dodge the blinding sand toss. He had already snapped his view back down. Steamed Bun Invasion was now right in front of him, and this Spitfire player lifted a leg to unleash a sharpshooter skill stomp. Steamed Bun Invasion caught off guard and was stomped flat to the ground. This Spitfire was none other than Baden Dan, the guild leader of 100 Blossoms on the 10th server. He was personally leading this dungeon team. Like Blue River and other guild leaders, he was also a top-tier expert from the cleric class. The player had the skill to take on Steamed Bun Invasion, but Steamed Bun charged in trying to take on all 5 at once. I was indeed a bit careless. After stomping Baozi down, Baden shouted, "4." The other 4 players immediately took up positions at the 4 corners. As soon as the stump was finished, he backflipped away, waiting for Steamed Bun to get up. Meanwhile, a hand grenade had already been tossed to the ground. Then, raising his automatic pistol with his right hand, he swapped in a fresh magazine with his left. This wasn't the standard reload after emptying a clip. This was the Spitfire's signature skill. The Spitfire's specialty is using all kinds of special effect ammunition. Changing the magazine means they're switching to a specific type of special effect round. The grenade he tossed to the ground had already detonated. This attack was one that Baozi, who was guaranteed to be knocked down after the stump, simply couldn't avoid. Baozi caught in the blast. He rolled, but didn't rise to retreat. Instead, he pressed forward, closing in on Baden, even after being caught in a 5-man pincer and taking a hit. But this did nothing to deter Steamed Bun. "Take this punch!" He let out a fierce roar, just like a comic book character shouting a battle cry. But compared to Huang Xiaoshen, that guy was doing it on purpose. Steamed Bun here is all natural. He just thinks it's fun and doesn't consider effects like distracting or startling his opponent. The punch didn't faze Baden Dan, but Denton rolled to the side, already dodging out of the way. Before his body had even settled, his automatic pistol barked out several rapid shots. But strangely, though bullets flew out, there was no muzzle flash from the gun. The projectiles glowed with a faint blue light, and their flight speed wasn't as swift as ordinary bullets. A veteran like Yeshio recognized the fired rounds as ice bullets with a single glance. Ice bullet is a level 30 skill for Spitfire gunners. If an ice bullet hits its target, it has a chance to slow the target with frost, or even freeze them solid. This special ammo, which requires a magazine change to use, can fire 15 rounds per clip. Thanks to the ammo expansion from the level 20 class change, this skill can boost the bullet count to 20. Baden's tumble and shoot never stopped, maintaining a stable view throughout the roll. This guy's skill is truly something else. But Baozi wasn't so easy to deal with. The ice bullet's flight speed was slightly slower than a regular bullet. With a twist of his body, Baozi dodged the first shot. He kept weaving and bobbing from side to side. On the Baden side, they were constantly adjusting, constantly aiming. He kept firing. Ice bullets whizzed past Steamed Bun Invasion left and right. Undeterred, he charged toward Bidandan with long, powerful strides. But at this moment, Steamed Bun's opponent wasn't just Baden Bullet alone, but 5. He charged toward the Ice Bullet, but a Berserker player behind him immediately leaped up. Then a mountain, shattering strike came crashing down heavily towards Steamed Bun Invasion's back. Ice Bullets ahead, a mountain, shattering strike behind. Steamed Bun Invasion had no room to retreat. Yet, from his perspective, a flash of white light appeared. It was Lord Grimm's Myriad Manifestations umbrella transformed into a battle spear, thrusting forward. The spearhead, formed from White Wolf Fang, skewered the Berserker at an angle. Lord Grimm swung his arm in mid-air, the circle swing skill yanking the airborne Berserker toward him. By now, the Mountain Crusher had vanished. The circle swing smashing into the Berserker looked like a different form of the same attack. This throw was aimed at another guy trying to go after Steamed Bun Invasion. The player clearly knew how devastating this move was and didn't dare to stand his ground, hastily leaping back to dodge. Steamed Bun Invasion and Lord Grimm were on the same team, granting them damage immunity, so the shockwave from the circle swing's impact had no effect on Steamed Bun. Yakyu flicked his mouse, and Lord Grimm pivoted, his spear lashing out to send the cleric behind him skyward. The cleric had been about to heal his Berserker teammate lying on the ground. He never expected Lord Grimm to suddenly wheel around and strike. The move was lightning fast, the sky strike too swift for the cleric to dodge. Lord Grimm then pushed out with his left palm, unleashing a falling flower palm that struck the launched cleric squarely. The cleric was blasted backward, and a cry was heard from that direction. What the hell?